Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Resident Evil 4 with the HD remake. I don't know why I keep using my keyboard and then throwing it away. I guess maybe my chair is just further away from the keyboard drawer, which, yeah, I'm sitting in a recliner. Yeah, this is Resident Evil 4 with the fan-made HD mod and whatever Resident Evil 4 tweaks are installed with that. We made a slight change in the field of view, and we're about to go into a fight with El Gigante, which El Gigante is kind of unique in that you see a bunch of these characters, but they always feel like boss fights. They never get commonplace. We have a lot of bullets, but we're going to try and pull off the trick to use the minimal amount of bullets. And we've got the dog, so the dog should also help. And the dog, I guess, kind of gives you a hint too as far as what you're supposed to do. There is nothing else really you can do here. I'm going to use the TMP. So you walk through this area safe, perfectly safe, the first time, and then now you're taking on the fight of El Gigante. Just seeing this group of zombie guys, which look at how many copy and paste of the exact same model are in that cutscene, and either the HD did that, which I don't think, or the main game just really didn't expect you to notice that there's like 3 clones of the exact same person a couple times over. But yeah, El Gigante, before you see him, just a group of people would be concerning. Alright. We immediately have some trouble. And I'm immediately out of bullets. So run to him at this point, and then press X, and then tap X as fast as possible to use your knife and kill him. And here's the dog coming to save you.
Hey, it's that dog.
Right. The dog allows for distractions. However, we now are not in the best position. This is kind of a great example of where an area potentially can just limit you, and you just have to live with whatever items might be pickup items. You don't want to get them too close to the there we go. You don't really want to get them too close to the trees, because he'll pick up the trees and start using that as a weapon. And you don't want to get into buildings, because he'll smash the buildings. So any place you think you might have been safe, in this, you really aren't safe. And that's it for the dog. Why these doors open? Who knows? Seems kind of pointless. And I just got an achievement for beating that, so it does just kind of feel like all achievements in this game are kind of built around storyline movement. Moving the story forward. Can't check this. You'd almost expect the dog to offer something. These items were not here originally. As far as gold and such. It would be repetitive to have the dog reappear. But I do think that there's definitely room for, I don't know, making a point to mention that you saved the dog. I get at a very quick rate you get away from this village, so the dog ending up in the castle or ending up in the island just doesn't really make that much sense.
Got a selection of good things. What are you buying?
TMP has no upgrades at all. So
what are you selling?
The move here would be to sell a couple of things.
Thank you.
And really not do anything else. So we've just got a lot of gold. And not a lot of space in our inventory. This is noticeably also the only time that let's just go ahead and use this right now. This is really the only time that your dog, a character really helps you in the game. So the game oddly trains you to be on the lookout for more allies, and you just won't see it. Nor is there really even a situation where preparedness helps you that much. This is a nice flame effect, heat effect there. Like, you would think that there would be some other way to prepare for conflict, and it just kind of doesn't happen. And the allies of the two policemen, well, we saw what happened to them. I think the idea here is to, now that it is nighttime, certain areas probably do have refilled collectibles, but treasures I don't think have been refilled. Treasures stay the same. So there's 3 more treasures in the village area. Darker and spookier. And see, here's the problem now. You just were saved by a dog. I think this is a zombie dog. Yep. Las Plagas zombie dog with Las Plagas element on its back. Which that really sucks because now our health is low again. You'd think that possibly knocking all these fires out would create a level of safety or a checkpoint system to show where you've been. There is definitely an argument around the idea of having a game where the darker you make it, the safer you are, but it would be fairly counterintuitive. Generally speaking, the darker the game is, the higher the risk you're in, and it should feel that way. I did recently play Darkest Dungeon, and lowering the light levels in Darkest Dungeon does kind of have a somewhat similar effect to that. So we do have the key now, after that very long side trip, to open this door. And I'm having a hard time remembering quite what was in here. I think handgun probably is the right move. So here's another example of just a lot of HD textures changing things. We'll take the gold from the altar. We'll check for the insignia. Let's see that there's projectors. This is noticeably a really small area to have any encounter at all. It's probably the smallest room of real note. I imagine there are some smaller rooms. And yet they do still have a really good time in hiding things. You tend not to have games where you have like little narrow hallways. I could have sworn there was something that happens here. Maybe it's after you solve the puzzle. Maybe you don't solve the puzzle quite yet. At all. There's a gate. I thought we heard Ashley screaming for help. And I think you kind of have to time that correctly. Can't destroy the tapestries. Can't break the glass. It almost feels like this would be a boss fight room, because there is a somewhat small boss fight room also later on that is a little bit bigger than this, or maybe just about the same size. It's an odd decision, I would say, to try for anything. And you can definitely tell how the interface here is very rough compared to what you would expect normally. So that's red. The things here is just to know the primary color matching somewhat, or just look for the exclusive parts that are red and green and blue and turn it to match that, and that will also work. Because if it is exclusively going to be blue or red or green, you're going to get it only one way. Spooky falling action here. And here we get Ashley. The beginning of the escort quest that lasts the rest of the game.
Hey, take it easy.
No! Get away!
Calm down. Everything's
There's
going to be just
definitely
fine.
either some intentional
My name's Leon. I'm
bad
under the
translation in
president's order to
English
rescue
here,
you.
What?
or
My father?
That's right. And I have to
literally
get you out of here.
just
Now come with me.
a case of the game translation
It's Leon.
being
I've
under
succeeded in
strict
extricating my
control of the
subject.
Japanese
Good
companies.
work, Leon.
That
I'll send a
whole
chopper over
conversation
right away.
is a
Where's
great
the extraction
example.
point?
There's another trail that you can take to get out of the village. The chopper will pick you up beyond there.
Got it. I'm on my way.
So this is supposed to be fairly simple, and man, to be 4 or 5 hours in the game and get a tutorial. Commands Leon can press the right bump to make Ashley either wait or follow. Ashley and the action button, depending on the situation. Leon and Ashley can cooperate to get past various obstacles. Ashley's health. You can use recovery items, not only on Leon, but Ashley as well. Ashley in game over if Leon has failed his mission, if Ashley is either killed or carried away by the enemy. So the game gets a lot harder, and now you have this heads-up user interface that's really too big for its own good. The good news is you don't really have to worry about her that much. But you do need to be careful not to accidentally slice her
Wait.
with the knife, or have her anywhere near you when you're fighting. In a lot of ways, this is just a test, a little taste, not test, of how this is going to go. In the remake, Ashley is going to be dressed for colder weather than what she's wearing here. This is supposed to be Spain. It definitely feels colder. Everybody else is dressed and fully covered. Now, she was kidnapped from clubbing somewhere in Europe, so she could have been moved quite a far distance. They're also, I think, going to just generally try to play her age up in this game. It makes it out more like she is a 18, 19-year-old, like maybe early 20s. In the game, in the remake, they're going to try to, I imagine, change that to make her even older, maybe a little bit more mature. But yeah, that's kind of just a great example as far as that conversation that I bet the Japanese told the English translators to literally translate exactly what was said in Japanese.
Follow me.
And the action of literally translating that makes it very awkward. She just clipped through the
I'll take the girl.
Who are
she
you?
just clipped through the ladder.
If you must know, my name is Osman Sadler, the
Oh, I was
master
calling
of
him
this
Salazar.
fine religious community.
I think there is a
What
Salazar
do you
and a
want?
Sadler.
To demonstrate to the whole world our astounding power, of course. No longer will the United States think they can police the world forever. So, we kidnap the president's daughter in order to give her our power and then send her back.
No. Leon, I think they shot something in my neck.
Of course, if that was their
What
plan,
did you do to her?
then why didn't
We
they
just
just
planted
let
her
them
little
escape right now?
Gift. Oh, there's going to be one hell of a party when she returns home to her loving father.
Yeah, it's such a dumb thing for him to even show up
Before
here.
that, I thought I might bargain with the president for some donation. Believe it or not, it takes quite a lot of
Look how
money
gross the
to keep this church
organic
up and
staff of his
running.
is.
Faith and money will lead you nowhere, Sadler.
Now,
Oh,
there's
I
a
believe I
history
forgot
up
to
until this
tell you
point.
that we gave you the same gift.
The Resident Evil
I was unconscious.
games, cutscenes, and
Oh, I
dialogues
truly hope you like our
have
small
always been
but
cheesy and
special
goofy.
contributions. When the eggs hatch,
So you really
you
can't
will become my
complain about the
puppets.
dialogue being really
Involuntarily,
out of line with the
you'll do
rest of
as
the
I say.
series.
I'll have
But the
total
remake series is
control over
taking
your
it much more
mind.
seriously, I
Don't
think.
you think this is a revolutionary
No more
way
Jill
to
sandwiches type
promulgate one's
lines of
faith?
dialogues.
Sounds more like an alien invasion if you ask me.
Yeah, why would it be beneficial to attack
You okay?
them at that point?
Leon,
Why not just let
what's
them
gonna happen
escape?
to us?
Don't worry. We got into this mess. We can get out of it.
Like, as far as I can tell, without getting the antidote that only the bad guys have, the Las Plagas infecting both Ashley and Leon would have gone probably unnoticed completely, but even if it was noticed, probably uncured. So this is kind of one of those classic examples
Wait.
of video game bad guy doing the exact wrong thing against his own plan. And in all fairness, the plan is too complicated anyways. You could have literally kidnapped her and then injected her and had her at that first building that we went at. And then Leon could have found her. They could have used the police to take her back to Washington, D.C. Like, there needs to have been some mention of the idea that perhaps the Las Plagas has to be it has to be used or nurtured next to other people or Sadler. Like there would have to be some logical reason why you couldn't just infect them and drop them away. You don't have to call her back, by the way. When you're going through a new cutscene. They're all now going to start sidestepping your attacks somewhat too. So if you put a laser sight on somebody, be ready to pull the trigger and don't wait too long, otherwise they will try and sidestep you. The zombies can grab Ashley and carry her off for quite a while. They are slow zombies. So
Wait.
you don't need her to follow by your side that much. I guess the birds have been busy. Arguably, maybe that is another way in which they give you items back. What you really would have liked to do is remove the bullets from the gun so you can then upgrade it later.
Got some rare things on sale. What are you selling?
Alright. We got one
Is that
spinel,
all? Thank you.
and I think that's pretty much all we can sell.
What are you buying?
We could buy the Red 9, which is a 9mm handgun. We will, at some point, need a 9mm handgun. The 9mm handguns are, well, it's just another handgun, isn't it? This one probably does a really high amount of damage when upgraded. So you have two options now, or three options between that. Right.
What are you buying? Is that all? Thank you. Is that all? Thank you.
Can't upgrade anything else. So we're doing
you
like really
buying?
nicely with everything. Except for
Come back anytime.
the problem of not really having room. Yeah, you're kind of limited. You can only go so far with this. And shooting that a second time I don't think does anything. Of course, because there's no spinels left. I guess the question is, do I want to just use the TMP? No, I really should be using the handgun. I don't think there's a need to shoot that. And this does put you in a different position as we get out of this area, because at some level you could run, and probably should run, instead of trying to clear the whole area. A lot of times it is going to be just a case of you need to clear the whole. So they've been saying Lord Sadler this whole time, and now we know who Lord Sadler is. Let's hit that. Alright, this is not working.
No.
And just like that, yeah. I shot her, I think, because she was in the way. Or somebody killed her with a pitchfork. So let's just make more of a meal out of this. There's definitely an idea here. Of trying to hide Ashley. Like, now all of a sudden the game really is making arguments that you need to have her hide somewhere and run around this entire village. I'm not sure I've ever not just tried to clear out the entire village section here. No, that's not what I mean to say. Actually, I mean to say the exact opposite.
Wait.
You just wait in there. And then this is an interesting thought as far as, is there a bunch of new things to run around and pick up bullets from? It looks like there is. Basically anywhere where there once was a bullet or an item to pick up, it may have respawned. Or at least everywhere there was a crate. And that can be very advantageous, certainly. Can we jump over this? At like very specific spots, yes. You also get into this point where Ashley's health might be something you want to upgrade, but it's not really a high priority. It really can't be, because she usually just gets killed anyways on the first hit. I think you're fairly safe to wander around the entirety of this section, and it won't penalize you for being too far away from Ashley. We could certainly think about like going back to the other area. But I doubt that that's a wise move. It's just trying to go back that way or trying to go that way. Like, I don't think there really were any items or boxes to open. This building still is completely inaccessible. It would have been too much, certainly, if there was somebody in there throwing dynamite, which is, I suspect, what the idea would have been, is that maybe at this point there would have been somebody throwing dynamite from that building, but then that may have encouraged too many people to investigate and go further away from the area you should be focusing on. Yeah. So yeah, there's a little bit more to be found. I must be wrong about there being spindles in there.
Follow me.
Alright. So that sets us up fairly nicely. I should at this point use this on myself. And in a New Game Plus scenario, you may end up just selling reds and greens. Really need to be using my handgun. I think I'm fairly safe to do it in this next section, because this is where it really is all at. That they were going to have, after that one area, they're going to have opportunities to just make Ashley hide. By the way, you can open this after you shoot it. Right. I guess the question to ask here is, if I was to take out these guys with headshots, is that worth it? Come on. I think it probably is. Like, one well-placed bullet to headshot enemies is probably worth considerably more. You can see the cows are missing now, so they've either opted to move or kill all the cows. It might very well be a case that they decided, after the dog helping you, to kill all animals. They can't be controlled. There's bullets or something there. Or it may be a case that the Las Plagas disease just couldn't control it. All the chickens are missing too. So 6 hours to 6 hours to gestate, I guess, around the infection of the Las Plagas. It almost feels like there's a penalty for rapid fire, but I don't think there really is. There is perhaps a limitation on how much you can damage somebody once they have the Las Plagas heads. I'm gonna mispronounce this half the time, by the way. Let's see. This is the way we went before, and this is all boarded up. So a lot of the past, a lot of directions you've gone are not valid anymore. And I just walked right past one of those, didn't I? Yeah, several times now we've been close to these traps and just kind of walked right past them. Nothing in there because that would have been the beer stein, and if you missed it the first time, it would still have to be there. We can check the map, I guess, just for some certainty. The map noticeably does not have a list of hiding places. Did the game go easy on me because it was really close to me on that case, or? Is there another reason? This is really where your TMP bullets should be used. You can see her legs clipping through that. And then we're just hoping that she can find the right path while I grab this. These buildings in areas are pretty well, I imagine, pre-pathed. So she probably knows where to go fairly well, and it isn't that much of actual generated pathfinding. Although in fairness, I think pathfinding technology is pretty much the same now as it was then, that you draw an imaginary line on the map and you tell the AI to follow that line as best as they can without bumping into something. So we needed her to give her a piggyback, which this puts her in incredible danger. You have no idea what's on the other side of that. Notice how her hands are not really connecting with the door.
I opened it, Leon.
But she helps you, and that lets you get to the next area. So we're in a whole new section. And unless there's a spindle or something. Man, I must be wrong about that. If I'm wrong about there never being spindles in these torches, then I more than likely always break the torches thinking that there's going to be something in them.
Welcome. Got a selection of good things on. What are you selling?
I don't think I need a flash grenade.
Is that
at the
all?
moment.
Thank you.
An incendiary grenade might be useful. Kind of part of the problem we have right now is that we have...
What are you buying? What are you
not
buying?
enough room and too much money.
Come back.
So it's a different picture when you look at just like the mess that is this whole setup compared to
Anytime.
the things you could buy. And I think, yep. Ooh, we're gonna have to make a decision. We run past this, it starts a cutscene. We're supposed to
Leon,
be
I have some bad
leading
news.
to the
I'd
chopper.
rather not hear it.
Well, I'm afraid I have to tell you anyway. We've lost contact with the chopper. Someone must have shot it down, though we can't determine who.
Great.
We're prepping another chopper for you. Meanwhile, I want you to head towards the extraction point.
Got it.
Yeah, why wouldn't you have multiple choppers? Potentially 2 or 3 for the president's daughter. So you run in here, a bunch of clone zombie characters, which as they become more zombies, the less weird it is that they all look the same.
In that cabin.
Leon! Small world, eh? Well, I see that the president's equipped his daughter with ballistics, too.
How rude! And I don't believe there's any relevance with my figure and my standing. Who are you?
Oh, excuse me, Your Highness.
So
Perhaps
you have
the
a
young lady
boob
might
joke,
want to introduce
which would
herself
make more
first
sense in
before asking
Japanese.
someone his name.
Her
At
name's
least in
Ashley
this time.
Graham, the president's daughter.
Is she... well, you know...
Don't worry. She's cool.
Never mind. There's supposed to be some kind of obvious symptom before you turn into one of them anyway.
Look,
So I think this is a case where you have to
Okay, it's game time.
you have to just keep it going for a few minutes more than it is a case that you actually need to kill a certain number of zombies. He has a red 9. So I think your best bet is just to kind of wait. They do eventually break these down, I think. He'll try to... He's throwing items at you. I don't think you have to worry about hurting Leon.
Are you okay? Leon, are you okay?
I am now empty. Let's combine this with this and use this on us.
Leon, are you okay? Use this. Leon, upstairs.
Alright, here we go. Upstairs we go. I use the first aid spray. From this angle, you can do a lot of damage to a lot of people. But noticeably, I don't know if you can search this whole building after the fact. Even if you can search the whole building, I don't know if you can
Use this.
I don't know if you can pick up all these items.
Leon, are you okay?
See, obviously this is supposed to try and parallel the first village encounter.
Are you okay?
And yeah, we have to start all over again. And it starts you back at this point. Which, is there anything that you could have done differently? I don't know. Let's say no. Can I skip any of this? I can hit A to go through all this fairly quickly. Ashley is hiding, I guess, in a closet. In the second floor.
Hate to say it, but we're sandwiched all right. Quick, in that cabin.
There's your reference to a Jill sandwich, I guess.
Leon! Small world, eh? Well...
Still trying to skip. I guess the skip button is the back button. Though, instead of the... Instead of the... start button. Right. We do have an opportunity to potentially throw a grenade down and make use of it there. And also run around here. So Ashley's like in that closet. So my general idea here is, I guess, to just try and keep them at bay outside the window. And yeah, you can see this is not working. And the move here is just to be selfish. Just let him take on a bunch of enemies. They don't even have the ladders here yet, so. It even grants you, it says you just saved him.
Use this.
Yep. And totally just that's just not gonna work at all. And you can't jump out the window.
Use this. Thanks, Leon. Are you trying to kill me? Me? I owe you one, Leon. Leon, are you okay? Use this.
And it's really just a long sequence. Like, too long for its own good. And what stops the sequence? Not much. You just get this cutscene, and when they say "Vamonos,"
Looks like
which
they're
I
backing
think
off.
that
So,
even translates to "Let's
What do we do
leave."
now?
The bridge I crossed to get here's out. So I guess we have no choice but to keep moving.
I forgot something. You guys go on ahead.
You'd almost think that Lewis's experience would be another side story, but it isn't. We only have 20 save slots. That's arbitrarily odd, but that probably is in line with the way the game originally was. Fine. That doesn't make for a big problem. So... we could jump out the window just to show off. And she's just gonna walk out through a regular window. There's some TMP ammo over here. We could potentially take on the merchant, but I think the merchant actually may have moved closer. There's a lot of darkness in this section in particular. Just kind of for no reason. Yeah. Maybe they moved him just so he's more recognizable, or maybe they moved him because that's to indicate that there's now maybe some new upgrades.
Welcome.
Ashley doesn't respond to this guy
Got
at
a
all.
selection of good things on sale, stranger. What are you selling?
You're still just not really
Is that all, Thank
in a
you.
position where you would want to get rid of anything,
What are you buying?
and I still can't really tune up
What are you
anything.
buying?
So you could waste a lot of gold, certainly, by not sticking with your original gun. And arguably, your original gun may not be the best handgun to upgrade, but it's probably the right one to do on the first run through. We don't have any yellows. You would want to do just greens and yellows for Ashley anyways. A green, yellow, red is overkill. And since we know that we're not going to be able to upgrade the gun capacity, and we're probably going to need all these guns, might as well just reload everything. I think you sell the flash grenades and keep the other grenades, and you can see how this has really gotten turned into quite the mess. And I am just selling things now
What are you selling?
to
Is that all?
make room.
Thank you.
2 incendiary grenades. Let's get rid of 2
Is that all?
of that.
Thank
2
you.
hand grenades. We still are working on getting the items to upgrade this, and according to the map, we haven't missed anything. But noticeably here, you do have to take and pick which one you want to go after. You either go to the left side, and it is a fight sequence, which is probably for the better, or you go to the right side and it's a chase sequence, and there's a treasure in both of those. I don't know if you can go backwards on both of them after the fact, or you just have to pick and choose and you just don't know. So This is an odd spot in the game, certainly, where you don't after that point, like, split, really. We're going to this point, and we'll get sidetracked to this point. There's another merchant, so this is a big conflict after another big conflict. And then, after all of that, we will be done with the village and on to the next act. We can't really move things around either here, so I think the best bet to do would be to leave a blank and overwrite, let's see, things that aren't chapter ends, because that would make the most amount of sense. We're 5 hours into the game. A lot of progress, certainly. I guess I do have to just wave a sigh of relief in that, I don't know why I'm bothering to organize, but like, this game definitely could have been way more difficult than I recalled or remembered. Like, I could just be a way worse player than I once was. So it is nice to not go to a game and potentially just fail miserably just because I'm old and rusty. Alright, yeah, nice progress. Not a lot of commentary, certainly. That is the number one commentary I'm probably going to have for this game, is me just saying, well, I don't have a lot to really say about the game. I will say that encounter is probably one of the worst encounters, because it is just time-based. It is just constantly spewing more zombies after you, whereas the village encounter, maybe it spawns 1 or 2 extra zombies if you kill a bunch, but it seems like it keeps it within a more reasonable amount. Like, you fight about 20, I would say, in the village first encounter, and 1 chainsaw guy, and that house encounter, it seems like if you didn't borrow the windows and didn't try and slow things down, it would always try to have about 9 zombies on the screen at any time, which was probably a memory limitation, is that they couldn't get much more than 9, maybe 12 zombies on the screen at a time. But it just keeps on going. And sure, it would have been really boring if it didn't keep on going and you were just sitting there doing nothing, but it wastes a lot of your bullets, and you don't have a situation like the lake next where you can fight something without bullets per se and potentially regain bullets. Although I'm not really concerned too much on being low on bullets, I am still concerned about having too much money and not enough firepower. I'd like my gun to do more damage, get more headshots. Some of that is certainly my skill will just improve right about the time I'm done completely with this game, but some of it also is just the fact that the game doesn't have the bullets aren't upgraded, the guns aren't upgraded enough to do enough bullet damage. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.